Alright, welcome back to the workshop. In today's video, I'm going to be upgrading my router table. Now, I've wanted to do this for quite a while because my previous one wasn't good enough. And this one basically shines in all the areas. It's more accurate, it's got a fine adjuster on the router elevator, it's more heavy duty and robust, it's got a cast iron top and that's ground perfectly flat. It's quick and easy to set up, and the dust collection's even better because there's a dust box underneath the router. So I'm looking forward to unboxing this and setting up in my workshop. So let's get started. Alright, so let's open the first box. This is for the leg stand. So this is one of the brackets for the wheel side panels, two more wheels for the MITRE bracket. I've actually got Alright, so I've looked at all the parts to see if I've got everything, and I do, which is good. And they all look well made and heavy, which I like. What I need to do to get started is I need two side panels and two legs. All the legs are the same, so it doesn't matter which two you choose. So what I like about this construction is you don't need any nuts because all the components like the legs already have a thread already in it, so you just need the bolts and a washer and you can just tighten it right in. Now the bottom panel, the lip goes on the inside bottom, and that gives you an opportunity to cut out a plywood panel and use that as a shelf on the bottom of the leg stand. Okay, so that is the first side panel done. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the back. Alright, so the frame is nearly complete. Now I've been thinking, the way I use the router table in my workshop is I store it in this area here, but whenever I use it I have to wheel it out and bring it to the centre of the workshop near my dust extractor. Now the way this wheelbase works, two of the wheels are fixed and you've only got one mobility wheel. So moving it from that location to there will take a bit of manoeuvring. So what I think will be an easier option for me is to take the casters from my old router table, and you can buy these online and they have a bolt on the top. You can choose whatever size thread you want. And I'm thinking about putting these on the bottom of each feet. So I think I'll just be able to take those adjustable feet out, place these in that thread, and it's going to allow the router table to be a bit more manoeuvrable and a bit quicker for me to move around in my workshop. Again, depending on where you put your router table in the workshop, this wheelbase probably is perfectly fine. But I've got to squeeze mine into that corner there, so I think it's the best option for me. Time to unbox the router elevator. This is one of the parts I'm looking forward to the most, as initially with my old router table, to change a bit you had to do it underneath the table and it was quite fiddly, but with the router elevator you can do everything from the top of the table, from adjusting the height of the router bit and even changing the router bit. So to attach your router, there's this universal base plate. Now as you can see, there's tons of holes here and it pretty much fits most routers. You can check on Axminster's website to see if your router fits it, but most likely it will. Now my router is a Trend T11, which is the same as the DeWalt one, And all I need is these two holes to mount it to my router. Then I'm going to flip it upside down and attach it to the elevator. Now I've already took off the original faceplate that was on my router, and I've got the same two bolts, and I'm going to use those to attach the new faceplate. To make my router fit in the elevator, I need to remove these handles. And the final thing before I put the router in is I got some WD-40 anti-friction dry lubricant, and I'm going to put this all over the chain, and that is going to help it run easily, but also it's going to prevent the dust from sticking to the chain and getting in all these cogs and stuff. Okay, so you've got the dust chute. These are the brackets to attach it to the table. You've got the bag of knobs and nuts and bolts, a guard, you've got the fence, and the two faces of the fence. Now I brought these two extras which I think will come in really handy, and they're stops to go on the fence. So what these are great for is if you want to make a stopped cut, let's say on a box, you can have two stops either side, you plunge the box down, move it along, and once you've hit the other stop you can lift the box back up, and that will prevent you from going all the way through the board. And these stops look really well made. They're all cast and pretty heavy, so I'm very happy with those. And the final thing we need to add is the dust box to go underneath the router table. So again, this is going to be really easy to assemble. There's no nuts required because all the panels already have a thread tapped in them. So they've just provided you the bolts, and they've got a Phillips head in the end. So you just need a screwdriver. So this is the front with the door, so you can access the router if you wanted to. And this is the side panel. If you're wondering what this is for, when you attach your dust extractor to it, if you open this slightly, it will improve dust collection because there'll be more airflow through the box. And now for the right side. If you're wondering what this hole is for, you open these doors up and you can feed the router cable through there. So this is the MITRE fence you get with the router table, and you've got this fence that you put on the front with these wing nuts. So like most MITRE fences you get with machines, they're not the best quality. The fence on this one is actually quite good, but the gauge on this is not accurate, and I probably wouldn't recommend using this MITRE fence. So if you do like using MITRE fences, then Axminster sell a UJK precision MITRE fence, which I do recommend using. It's a much better one than the free one that comes with the machine. And this MITRE fence not only works on the router table, it works on the table saw, works on their band saws, so it definitely is a worthwhile upgrade if you do use a MITRE fence. So as you can see, the fence is already a lot nicer, and it's got positive stops in the most common angles. You can hear it click in place. So in this bag you've got the handle and a washer. In this one you've got two knurled knobs that look very nice quality, and in this one you've got aluminium stop. So to put it together, you take these nuts off the knobs here and you put these bolts through these holes here, and then you pass the track through there. Then you got the handle and a washer, and you put that through this hole, and that locks everything in place. And then finally you've got the stop, like the one on the router table itself, that goes into the track on the top, and you can lock that down in any position. And you've even got some grub screws on the side so you can adjust the width of the track so it fits perfectly and there's no play side to side. So I'm absolutely thrilled with this router table. I don't even have all the extras on it. You can get an extension table, you can get a fine adjuster for the fence, you can get feather boards, and this kit actually does come with a MITRE fence holder that attaches to one of the legs, but I didn't attach that, but you can do on yours if you want to. If you're thinking about getting a UJK router table, I do highly recommend it. It's the best router table I've ever used, and I really don't think you'll be disappointed. I've already been using the router table for a couple of weeks, and I think it's great. My favourite feature is the router elevator. You can raise and lower the bit by 1/5 of a millimetre, which is amazing. It's really easy to adjust up and down, and it's perfect for doing really detailed and fine work like routing out mortises for hinges or even inlaying. Also, I forgot to mention another feature I like is the dust box underneath. My previous router table was a nightmare with dust collection because if any dust wasn't picked up by the hose on top of the router table, it would just fall down to the ground or circulate around the air, and that is really bad. But with this dust box with the hose connected to the fence as well, it virtually collects all the dust, which is fantastic. If you're interested in buying a router table, there'll be a link to Axminster's website in the description down below, and I'd really appreciate it if you use that link when purchasing this router table or anything from the Axminster website, because I'll get a small cut of your purchase with no extra cost to you. It's just a good way of supporting the channel. And talking about supporting the channel, I just want to thank Ellie Gladnikoff for becoming a new patron. Your support is really helping the channel keep going, and I hope you're enjoying all the perks of becoming a patron. If you guys are interested in getting exclusive content, your name in the workshop, early releases to the main channel videos, and discounts on my Etsy store, then all the information is down below. Anything helps. So if you're new to the channel, I don't just do unboxing videos, I do a lot of making videos, so feel free to check them out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe if you're new, and if you want to chat, then feel free to comment down below. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for sticking to the end, and I will see you very soon for the next video. Bye.